Well, mahalo, y'all. Welcome to the first installment of the Coast to Coast Canadian Truckcast. We have been, we've been making a few podcasts. We've been trying to get into a good groove, but we had it more set for just kind of the general market of Canadian to US stuff, and we finally made a switch today, obviously, and we're splitting them up right now. One Canadian, one American. See how that goes. Kind of cater it to each market a little bit more because there's some lingo and some, information on one that doesn't necessarily pertain to the other. So here we go. So for all you Canadians out there that this is being catered towards, we are going to cover what we saw in the market on our side. We're going to cover, the units that we think are needed right now based on our buying or our buyers' tendencies. We're going to go over a lot of, importing and kind of the updates with importing. And then at the end of it, just, give you guys a little bit of information until you guys are pretty accustomed with it about what we do at Coast to Coast. So let's, let's just jump right in to start. I would say that the market is truly booming. Honestly, this past week was incredible. Our sale starts off every week in the auction world. We run on Mondays at noon at Manheim, Utah. So we had I'm going to count some of the sales that we that came in immediately after the sale. We sold, gosh, what was it, 94.6% of our inventory. So it was a stellar week. It was a really stellar week to start off that way. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, well, 100% is ideal, and it is ideal. But if you don't have as consistent of inventory flow as somebody, in other places in the wholesale department, then it kind of ties you up because you almost depend on those, 10 to 20% of units not being sold and kind of holding your inventory for the next week. So, but with all that said, we shouldn't be complaining. We sold almost 95%. We're feeling really freaking good. And we're really excited. We had more buyers this week than we have ever had in our six sales. We're seeing amazing results for, a really new lane. And our inventory it's just flowing. I mean, we're starting to see some more premium stuff, which is good. We've run a lot of fleet units. And, we sell the fleet units at the highest percentage in our market. So we're proud of that. But, stuff is starting to come at a really heavy pace now, which we're really happy about. And I see other guys at other auctions too, they're running on the higher end of the numbers that they typically run. And with that said, I mean, we are connected with an importer in Billings, Montana, and we directly see what's going on there. And honestly, they have more inventory flowing right now than they have in many months past. And I've been hearing similar whispers throughout the registered import community. So, things are coming. This spring market should boom based off of, obviously tax season is coming into full swing and it's just that time of year where things are really good. So I would say for the next, I'd say maybe month and a half, we should see some really good sales at the auction, and then immediately after that, we'll see our, typical downturn. A little more into specifics about stats. We saw, we go a lot off of, a percentage in correlation to MMR. If for instance, if a unit that's, if it's Cadillac Escalade and it's worth $100,000 US and it sells for 98,000, that's a 98% of MMR sale. So we saw those numbers climb up roughly 2% week over week, which is really good. It's really good to see those numbers go up because we see, a lot of influx from, those larger lanes, mostly out east, down in Texas, where they pure sale everything. Honestly, that's what we're trying to do, but these guys pure sell everything, no matter if it's a dropping market, a hot market, whatever the number is, that's what they sell it for. So seeing those numbers go up is really good because we are so accustomed to seeing those numbers go down over the past, gosh, it almost feels like a year now, but it's been, my goodness, it's been a good 7 months that we were experiencing downturns. So it's good to finally see those upturns starting to come back and get in our favor. With that said, we've also seen a lot of sale rates go up. We saw over 10%. Definitely at our auction. From the week previous to this week, we saw I think it was a 45% jump, roughly 45% jump. So we won't see that every week, but it was a heck of a week to see. And I saw that at other auctions in, Montana, other ones in Utah, Spokane. Sale rates are good. That's a good thing to see. That means buyers are buying. That means the public is finally buying again. It's a really good thing to see. So now jumping into the units that we need. For us personally, we need um, a lot of GM half tons, with the more premium trims. The high countries are great. The Z71 package, the ZR2s, those are hot. The RSTs are always a good one. And then for GMC, AT4s, elevations, and Denali's are still solid as always. So that's the stuff that we need more of. We run a lot of white in our lane. We sell every color car in our lane as long as it's white. So we're looking for a little more color to add to our lane. So if any of you guys are out there, Alberta, Saskatchewan, interested in running some units in our lane, color will stand out. It pops, and we get so many better bidders on those units because it stands out so much from the white units. We had, God, I think we had one black F-150 XLT Sport last week, brought more money than all the others. It brought like 103% of MMR just because it was a black unit running in an all, you know, fleet lane. So it stuck out like a sore thumb. Guys wanted it, jumped all over it. So if you have that stuff, please call us. My number is 651-357-8966. We're Coast to Coast Remarketing, Manheim, Utah, Lane 1 on Mondays. We'll take anything. Two or three, even. That makes all the difference in the world in our lane. So, and that says a lot, selling at 95% damn near for the week. So, it's been it's been good. But getting back into what I was talking about units needed, SUVs, we are desperate for SUVs. I think we didn't run a single SUV last week. So we're looking for that. I know the public is looking for that. I watch a lot of the other auction lanes and it's heavy trucks right now, which isn't a bad thing, but SUVs are pulling good money when they do show up on the block. Soon, it's getting into sports car season, and it has been a very warm winter, as we all know. I know you guys up in Canada, same thing. I talk to guys from Calgary and Edmonton all the time. They're ready for winter to be over. We've all been spoiled. Let's just get in the spring. Let's get it going. Let's get it on. Sports cars are coming down. I've started to see some Corvettes. One ran in Billings the other day and pulled a great number. And it was, I mean, let's be honest. We all know, Montana. It's a very conservative, very, quiet part of the U.S. Guys are not looking for the flashy stuff necessarily. And I mean, that did, it did really good. It did really good. Let me pull up the number exactly here. I can see right here. Where is that Corvette of mine? There it is. Yeah, brought 104% of MMR. MMR was 81. It brought 84. We gotta love it. We gotta love it. It was such a good week at the auction for everybody. I'm so happy for everybody. So going back to some more units that we need, high trim F series trucks. We had one F-150 Platinum run on Monday, and that unit, I mean, it was like watching, you know, I don't even know what to compare it to. Everybody it seemed like that was buying that day was bidding on that one car. It was the only premium unit we had. That was not an XLT Sport. So it did fantastic. That one brought, I think it was 102.3% of MMR. So, I mean, this stuff is pulling good money in our lane. Our fleet stuff's pulling great money compared to other fleet units, but our premium stuff, I would put it up against anything else in the market, honestly. And we've seen that from the start of the sale. You know, I pulled the numbers earlier this week of the stuff that ran honestly before I joined this lane, and it was, I mean, they're averaging 99.5%. I should say we are averaging 99.5%. It's astounding. Those are great numbers. Week over week, you can't beat that. You cannot beat getting what it's worth in the market week over week. So those are the things we're looking for. You know, high trim, half ton GM trucks, SUVs, and, you know, the high trim F Series trucks. That's what we're looking for. Now, you guys, I know everybody's wondering what's going on in the RI world. I don't know how connected you guys are, but I can tell you that, you know, our company is partnered with an import company, and so we help them out on all sorts of fronts with their operations. And I could tell you the biggest issue I know we're all flustered about is those early bond releases. When do they come? Why aren't they coming consistently? And I can tell you that still nobody has any freaking clue what the hell is going on. The company that we partnered with, they got a bunch today, which was a lovely thing to see. It was like freaking opening up the stock market. Phones were ringing off the hook. Everybody was calling everybody, telling them we got early bond releases. They were uploading them onto the Signal import platform, getting them out, telling sellers. Some of these units haven't even been in the DOT hold for 24 hours. Bond releases. It was incredible. They're on trucks. They're going down to where they need to go. It's incredible to see. So it's nice to see a little bit of that hustle and bustle come back to the RI world. We all know prior to 2016 or 2017, you know, before they started hammering down on the 30-day hold period, that it was like Wild West. Everything's going to the auction next day. It feels like it's getting back to that a little bit with these early bond releases. And I mean, it's a little fun. The 30-day hold is nice sometimes to kind of get your, you know, get your groove under you. You have a good system, you know, with transportation and whatnot. But seeing this, you know, these early release dates come is making things really exciting. So some came today for this RI. I know other RIs got theirs last week. Haven't seen any this week. There's no pattern. There's it's just significant how much this is going to affect sales. You know, the auctions are going to see kind of fluctuations in units. They're going to see a lot one week and then there's going to be a dip the next week. And that's absolutely okay. That is absolutely okay. It keeps all these guys on their heels, which is good. The auction is an emotional time, is an emotional, I should say, platform. And so adding the emotion of uncertainty adds to the, you know, the drive to want to buy there and the, you know, that feeling of if I buy this week, is there going to be another round next week? Is there going to be a whole, you know, slew of 50 cars again from the same seller that I always buy from, or do I have to buy this week? So I think it's going to ramp up the intensity on the block. But with that said, that eliminates the consistency, which hurts, you know, exporters and our eyes a bit. But it also just adds a little bit of, like I said, that excitement to all this. But to be talking black and white, there's no consistency, and that sucks. We were hoping consistency with this new platform. We're just not seeing it yet. So don't bank on early bond releases. Do not bank on it because this is a government issue. This has nothing to do with registered importers and how they're submitting documents or, you know, photos or are they doing something? It has nothing to do with that. It's just, is it your day? It's almost like they roll a roulette wheel And if it lands on your RI, then you get some bond releases that day. So that's all I can say about that. Now, the big thing that I think is worth covering today is the GM tailgate recall that we've all been experiencing the past couple of weeks that have held up a bunch of units. We have, done some collaboration with our local GM service dealership, and we have found a way with them where they can go in and they can clear this recall from affecting the DOT submission. They're not fixing they're not fixing the tailgate issue because there are no parts. But what they do is if it has the recall, they go in and clear the code and disable that that tailgate sensor pad underneath, so that it's not affecting the unit while it's drivable on the road. So they disable it. We've done this with a handful of vehicles already. It's been sent to DOT, and a bunch of them got released today. So if you can go talk to your local dealerships, go chat with them, say, hey, I know you can go in, clear the code, and disable this tailgate feature so that we can get this vehicle over to the auction and submit, you know, DOT compliance on it. Get out there, talk to your dealerships. If they don't, if they aren't like saying, we're not going to do that, or we can't do that, that doesn't fix the recall. Say, we know it doesn't fix the recall, but it eliminates the threat of that, you know, tailgate from opening. So if you have any questions about that, call myself. My phone number is 651-357-8966. We can get you straight away. Call us. We're happy to help. The RI community, we need to help each other. And you guys as exporters, if you just have any questions, call me. I'd be happy to talk with your registered importer and tell them what, their local dealership needs to do. So, guys, that is our first, what are we calling this now? The Coast to Coast Canadian Truck Cast. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Any feedback is welcomed, but, I think we covered a lot today, especially with covering that GM recall and the early bond releases on the import side. That is huge. Take that, run with it. You know, put it in your memory banks that you guys understand going forward when you're talking with your RIs about these issues. And the sales. Let's hope they keep ramping up because we're seeing some good returns. Anyways, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Again, my name is Caleb Morse. I'm with Coast to Coast Remarketing. We run at Manheim, Utah on Mondays at 12 Mountain Time in, well, the only lane that they have going. So it's Canadian only units. Check it out. Call us if you have any questions because we are coming to other auctions this year. We are eyeballing some in the Midwest and possibly in the East on the West Coast. So if we're not there today, we'll be there tomorrow. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Any feedback is welcome. Thank you guys and have a wonderful night.